Okay, well, when my professor did my edits on my thesis, guess what didn't save?
Good morning. We are 4 weeks out. We have reached that point in the. I have my meeting with my professor today, my major professor, and we're going to go over the edits that I did. And hopefully she will edit the other half of the paper. I did finish up to line, I think like 250 for my edits. So I finished up to line 250 for my edits, and I'm really excited to hopefully get some good feedback on those. I also have a stats exam today, and we're setting up our giant exhibition for the class that I course assist in, the mass production class. This class, we create adaptive apparel and we give it to Scottish Rite at the end of the semester, and so it's a really fun class. We are producing things, and it's such a beautiful project, and every year, like, me and the main professor are just sobbing in Scottish Rite sharing these clothes and giving these clothes, and it's a great opportunity for these kids, our students, to understand the importance of where their clothes go. So that's really what this exhibit is about, so that's what we're putting up today. But on top of everything else, on top of the sewing lessons and the grad school and the teaching, we have the opening of this exhibition today, and then we have the reception on Thursday. So not only do I have all of that and this, so 4 weeks out, man. 4 weeks out.
Adding the citations and clarifying some things, and I made it to line, I think it was like 250. I don't think I have any questions per se. Right, which I think that I had the big research question. So while I eat the rest of my lunch, my last bite of lunch, I want to tell you a story that I think is so funny because it just came up again in my life. When I was in high school, I was in the IB program, and in the IB program, you have to do these like examinations, one of them being you have to do an oral exam for the language you're in, and I took German. And during the oral exam, you have to be recorded. Your teacher is asking you questions, and you're explaining in a foreign language this article that you just read. How does this relate to today? Well, in that IB exam, me and my teacher, I finished, and she goes, and she gives me and she goes to stop the recording, and she just goes, "Oh no." While we were recording, the recording wasn't going. That's right. My perfect score of a foreign language explanation of, and I still remember what I called solar panels. I called them Solar Energie Dinge because I didn't know what they were called in German. So I just called them solar energy things. And it worked. Didn't record. And she goes, "I'm so sorry. We have to do it again." And of course, at this point, my adrenaline has been depleted. That was supposed to be my last exam to just be done. I had to do it again. So how does this relate to my thesis in this moment? This relates because technology and me and final projects apparently don't like each other, because my professor lost all of her edits for the back half of my paper. This means my paper is only half edited. No, it's fine. It's a technology issue where, sometimes if you open Word, it doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't connect whenever you save it onto the Word in the digital online space in Box. And so she thinks it's on her computer. I think it's on her computer. I am fully riding the high and riding the assumption that it's on her computer. But I just think it's so funny that this isn't even the second time. This is the third time, because the other time I was writing my my extended essay in IB, and my computer got stolen. I don't know what it is with me, papers, and the universe thinking hee hee ha ha, let me make this harder for her, So let me see if she answers.
Hello.
Hey, are you busy?
Not super. What's up?
So I have a funny story to tell you.
Okay.
Do you remember how when I did my IB exam, how it with Frau, it did it? Okay. Well, when my professor did my edits on my thesis, guess what didn't save?
No. Are you serious?
I'm not joking. Because I was like, I saw you only edited to line 300. And she was like, what? And I went, yeah. And she goes, no, Lillia, I did the whole thing. And I went, oh no.
That's funny.
But I just was like, and then of course, you know, the EE, my computer got stolen, and I'm just like, man, the universe really doesn't want me to do these papers.
No, not the big long ones. Oh
my Not the big long ones, no. But I just thought that was funny. I was like, Mom's gonna get a good kick out of that.
Oh yeah, karma. Well, they say it happens in threes. So your EE was stolen. The
German exam.
Your German was not recorded, and now your thesis or whatever it's called, edited. Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, does that mean for my dissertation that we're like clean slate, like we're ready to go? We're out here working. Gave the boys a little activity so that way they would be entertained and would not bother me while I work on my thesis.
Sorry, we're just there. Building an altar. Like, we gotta have a meeting like this. I keep telling you, there's like the stalker is a stalker.
Hello. I just had a no call, no show for my sewing lessons, which very rarely happens. But it's fine because I think this is the universe trying to give me a break. I took my stats exam last night and cried afterwards. I don't know. I've just never been really good at math, which I know that in order to become a PhD candidate, you do have to do like a statistical portion of the candidacy exam. So I've got a little bit of extra time to kind of sit on the couch, look at my edits, and just check and see if my major professor has like sent me the updated edits. But we do also have a presentation we're doing for GSA in one of the research classes, so very excited for that. I'm gonna pop in and just be like, hi, I'm the hybrid student ambassador, blah, blah, blah. Checklist is still get the thesis, edit the thesis, continue editing the thesis, and then start working on the PowerPoint that I would be using for said defense. So that is going to be in the works today too. So today we're working on edits still for the thesis. It's what I really want to kind of share with these kind of road to defense vlogs is essentially I just want to kind of share the honest truth and like the behind the scenes of what it's like, you know, working a full-time job while also getting your master's. What I found through this process of getting a master's for the past 18 months has been this like giant feeling of just like accomplishment. And I know that that's like cliche, but for real, like it's a giant feeling of accomplishment because like I mentioned, I think I mentioned it in week 5, one of my committee members, asked me like what drove me to get a master's and what's driving me to get a PhD. And I shared that little voice in the back of my head in undergrad was like, wouldn't it be cool if you were a doctor? Like that'd be so cool, right? And it's becoming a reality. And so for me, it's something I thought I would never do. It's something I thought I couldn't do because of, because I'm ADHD, because I am dyslexic, because I have anxiety and depression and I'm medicated. And, it's something I thought that I couldn't do just in general because I thought I wasn't smart enough. And sitting here, coming up to the end of the line for my master's, with all of the setbacks I've had, with all of the, things that people have said to me, with all of the, support or lack of support or, whatever, you name it. I'm sitting here 4 weeks out from turning in my thesis,
for my defense, and I could not be more proud of myself. It takes a lot of perseverance and a lot of dedication, and if you feel like you want to take this journey but you're not ready, that's okay. I would say, it took me 5 years to go back to school, to decide and make that decision to, yes, I am ready, I can do this. You don't have to go immediately after your undergrad. You can wait. That's okay. You can wait. I just really hope that, for anyone watching this like Road to Defense, and who knows who's gonna watch it, like, let's be honest, the internet's a weird place. Anyone who's watching this who might have in the back of their head, like, I want to do this, but I don't know how, or I don't feel like I can. Yes, you can. You can. You can. I believe in you. I guess I'm just sentimental today. So anyways, I'm gonna write this thesis. I'm gonna get to it. Let's talk about the end of week 4. Let's start there. We had the giant show that was the opening of basically the exhibit, talking about like all the adaptive apparel and everything, and that was so much fun. The thesis edits from the professor were never found. I'm hoping that the universe is done throwing curveballs, and now that I've said that, it's of course going to throw something else at me. It's kind of starting to become real, the reality of like what I'm doing and the intensity of like how I'm doing it. I'm kind of reaching a point where it's becoming a lot, and I'm doing a lot. And so I'm not gonna lie, like I am starting to like slowly feel a little bit of burnout. I need to find a way to balance some of this. One thing I didn't do this week that I did like in week 5 that I really think helped week 5 kind of move along is the working out and just like moving my body. Like I didn't get to do that at all this week. So it really, like, I feel like some stress and things are just like pent up energy and all that stuff. So I definitely feel a little, I did get to hang out with my friends this weekend. We got to go experience it in Halloween. So that was a little bit of a de-stressor. I definitely felt a lot better going into Monday than I did, maybe like last week, like in week 5. So, I'm just taking it day by day. And I think every day along this process is going to bring a new challenge, and it's going to bring something, new to the table. So I am excited for the rest of the process. I'm definitely like moving through these edits a little slow this weekend, and week 3 brings a little bit more speed. So I'm realizing that I'm a little slow in editing. So I just need to like continue editing and go a little bit faster. I'm excited to continue this process, and I'm excited to continue to share it with you. And I hope that you did enjoy today's video and you're enjoying this process, and you're enjoying just getting to see a little bit of behind the scenes of, grad school life, working full time, and just like what it's like to kind of enter the final days of finishing your thesis and submitting your thesis. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys. Get ready for week 3. Aside from my soul.